we're live. My very first live. I'm guessing I'll be able to save this or watch it after. November 17th, 2022, day 1000. Good afternoon. Looks like I may have a viewer, but I cannot tell. I am new to obviously a live. And had a viewer. So I'll give it a couple minutes if we get to watch this after. So I'm not just sitting here with dead air. And I'll kind of go through some of the pieces that I want to talk to everybody. So we'll give it a few minutes, see if we have people to join. I'm going to be new to this, so I'm not sure who's joining, if they are. Looks like we've got a viewer. And we'll just give it a minute and we'll get it started. So feel free, whoever's watching, if you want to write a message, definitely I'll check out and see if it's working, where I can actually see. And it looks like we got a reaction. We got a thumbs up. All right, I don't know who you are. We got a couple of viewers. There we go. Some thumbs up. We got some action. We'll give it another 30 seconds and I'll start with some of the things that I want to talk to you about today. So hopefully everybody's having a good day. It's a little chilly here in Minnesota. I took the afternoon off to be able to do this and go work out with Ethan today. So very excited. And I got everything ready to go. Gym bag ready, drinks ready. It's gonna be a good day. All right, well, we were up to 3. And it looks like we lost them. So I'm just going to go ahead and start. And hopefully this can be replayed. You can check this out. And you get something out of this. So number one, welcome everybody who's checking this out. I wanted to do a Facebook Live, something different on day 1000 of my lifestyle change and journey. I'm just going to go through some of, I think, some questions and things that I want to share that hopefully can motivate, inspire, and help you in your own journey. If that's something that you're choosing for yourself, which as someone who's struggled with this their whole entire life, I highly recommend of doing something as I'm reading and doing something on my own. I'm training to be a certified personal trainer on the side. And it's really, number one, seeing how much of a passion it is for me. Number two, just learning, additional of leading causes of death. And number one, that is heart disease and also obesity, higher than anything that's out there. So if it's anything as motivation, learn that those are the two leading causes, and hopefully that you can decide to make a change in your life that will then inspire and help the ones around you, and let alone the ones that are looking up to you. So why did I start my journey? I started my journey because in December of 2019, I had enough. I have lost 100 pounds twice in my life previously, and December 2019, I knew that I needed to do it again. In my past, I would just buckle down and decide that it was just time. I was done with going to clothing stores and having to, every time I went, buying a size that was bigger because the size that I was currently wearing was not fitting me anymore. And me personally, for a guy, I guess for me, it was really crushing every time I went in to think I knew what size I needed, to find out that I needed one or two bigger for me to wear. When those pant sizes got up to waist size 58, it was an awakening for me to do something. I had a flash where I felt I would probably end up on my 500, 600 pound life. And I think it just needs to have some mental triggers for yourself on deciding that this is something that you're going to do, that you're going to be dedicated to, and that you're going to accomplish on your own. And that's where it needs to start. Previously, when I lost weight, it was seeing two of my friends into one of my pairs of pants back to back. That was a trigger for me to do something different at that time. So December 2019, I had enough. I knew that I was getting older. I knew that my metabolism maybe wasn't going to be there anymore, that I wouldn't be able to just buckle down and drop weight and lose weight. And I didn't want my boys to be embarrassed of their dad. I didn't want them to see me at ball games on the sidelines and ever be embarrassed. And I know that my boys would never be, but it was something for my own self that I wanted to be an example for them. I was telling my boys that I wanted them to be athletes and to be strong and to eat healthy and to exercise so that they could get to the next level of what they wanted to do. And I wasn't setting that example myself. When we would come over, we'd have pizza, or we'd eat out all the time. We weren't active, and it took everything out of me just to do those things with them. So being able to show my boys an example of what you can do when you put your mind to was really something of the reason why I started my journey, and something for me that I wanted to do for myself. I wanted to put myself first and take time for me, and that the rest would fall into part. So when did I start my journey? I started February 19th of 2020 with V-Shred. December of 2019, I started on my own from everything that I had learned in the past of just having a shake for breakfast, a shake for lunch, a high protein dinner. I was hungry. That was the one thing that I saw. Definitely that wasn't a lot of calories from what I was used to eating, which I can guarantee I was eating somewhere between 4,000 to 6,000 calories a day. Going from a shake for breakfast, for lunch, and then a high protein dinner was definitely a change, but it left me hungry. I did lose just over 20 pounds, and then I plateaued. The boys and I in February went to Universal Studios, and I told the boys that when I was going to come back, that it wasn't going to end. I was going to find something that was for me. I was going to find something different, and I was going to do something that was going to be next level and to continue my journey and my story. When I came back and watched Facebook and saw Vincent Sant, that was kind of giving you the spiel of taking his free quiz and finding more about your body and what it can do and what type of body you had, and a meal plan that was available in this program. A bell went off. Hey Greg, thanks for joining. When I saw that presentation from Vince, I knew with everything that I had done in my past that was absolutely key. That was a winner. It was something that I knew was sustainable, and it was tailored to me because I was very fussy with my food choices. I was meat and potatoes, I was not vegetables. I was used to eating processed stuff. I wasn't eating healthy, and I was very picky, and that was half the challenge there. The exercise program, that was 20 minutes a day. And for me to look at it, I knew that I was wasting more than 20 minutes a day doing other things. So to take 20 minutes in a day to invest in myself, I couldn't go wrong. To justify the cost of the program at that time, it was $150 for the exercise program, and the meal plan was, $47 a month. For me, that was just cutting out Starbucks. That was a way of justifying it because I was spending way more than that in Starbucks. And now you can get the program for $50-some one-time fee, and then your meal plan every month, which is absolutely key. I will say that, all the supplements that are out there are great, but your meal plan, what you're actually fueling your body with, is the number one thing. And I think that goes into kind of the next thing that I want to talk about, was what were some of the first changes that I saw in my journey. And number one, it was different to get used to eating so many times a day. I was eating 6 times a day, where I was normally used to eating only 3. And with the, sorry, I've got my questions on the screen to be able to help out. So with eating 6 times a day, I had to get used to that. I had to get used to eating. It made you feel like you were back in elementary school. You had breakfast, you had snack. You had lunch, you had snack. You had dinner, you had snack. And when Adam explained it to me, it made sense. If you look at your metabolism in your body like a fire, that you keep on adding wood and stoking that fire, that's the same exact thing that you're doing in your metabolism. The whole key with this, and I mean, really, it's not a secret, but something that you just don't think of, is never letting yourself get hungry. I am never hungry. If I feel like I'm gonna get hungry, I'll have a protein shake if it's something that's off from where my normal times are from eating, which is every 3 hours. And that was something to get used to, because I used to never eat until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then I'd have dinner, and then I'd have a big meal at 10 o'clock at night, and then I'd go to bed. And then that was a vicious cycle, because then you felt like crap the whole next morning, and especially what I was eating. At the times when I was eating, it was, if I'm eating a large pizza, that's what I would have. And at that moment, I felt fine. I felt good. I felt satisfied. It was how I dealt with stress or dealt with anything. Was in that moment. I didn't have to worry or think about that. And it wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy for me, and it wasn't healthy for anybody around me. So that was one of the big changes that I first saw, was the eating habits. Secondly was, I worked out from home, and it took me a while to get used to 20 minutes a day exercising, but I pushed. I did it. I slowly started to see changes. Some of the first things, like I remember updating Adam, that I was able to, the first time that I was able to run upstairs rather than walk upstairs. The first times where I started with push-ups on my knees, and then went to doing push-ups off a 45 degree on the bench, and then I was able to do full-blown push-ups. And now I can do diamond push-ups. So those were some of these small little things, not getting out of breath, or not sweating profusely, just getting ready in the morning, having a lot more energy, not having that afternoon drag, being able to sleep well. There's so many benefits of just exercising, let alone the health benefits, but just on how you feel has motivated me each day to keep on pushing. It was tough at the beginning with having Ethan come down and watch me exercise and see me struggle. I think it was a reminder of how much I had let myself go, but it gave me that motivation and that push to be able to keep on going every day. And I think that ties to my next question that I typed up to talk about, which was what kept me motivated during this journey. And my boys kept me motivated. Seeing them watch me and being proud of their dad, what I was doing, pushed me and motivated me. Seeing the success, the weight loss that I was having and going through motivated me. Those changes, the positive changes in my life, continuously kept me motivated. And being able to check in with Adam every week, checking in with Adam to be able to let him know where I was at, what I was doing, what was next, what progress, those changes, and then kind of seeing them through V-Shred, being able to share my success and my progress with my pictures from after watching or completing one program to another, and actually seeing the difference. The other thing that was kind of cool and that I didn't even realize myself at first is I got compliments and comments from people when I would post my before and after pictures in the Facebook V-Shred group. And people started to comment on the smile that I had on my face in my after pictures. And this is as I was progressing through my journey. And it made me look back. And I didn't realize that I was smiling in those pictures. And that progress that kept me motivated, that smile was showing that I was on the right track, that path. Another thing that kept me motivated was the first time that I had gotten COVID a couple of years ago. I went into the doctor. I had lost a bunch of weight by that time into my journey. And I remember telling a doctor about my journey, all the weight loss that I had, my license, you couldn't even recognize me. I mean, to anybody who hasn't seen me in a long time, or even after COVID to someone in person, hadn't even recognized me. Hey, Mike, thanks for joining. People didn't recognize me. And when I told the doctor about my changes and what happened, she looked at me and point blank said, Conrad, if you wouldn't have lost the weight that you did, if you wouldn't have been on your journey, you wouldn't be here today. I think this would be an absolutely, completely different doctor's visit. And that really, I think, was one of the first moments that really put it in perspective for me. Sometimes, and you'll see in your life that things happen for a reason. It's what I've always lived by, is everything happens for a reason, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And sometimes you just don't know why certain things happen, but if it's a week, a month, a year, 10 years, you'll have that moment where you'll look back and go, that's why it happened. That was one of those moments. That was one of those moments when somebody said, hey, that must have been really hard to be able to do this. And for me, it wasn't. I was dedicated. I was motivated. I was inspired. And anyone who knows me knows that if I put my mind to something, I get it done. This was one of those moments. And to be able to get that validation from a doctor that I might not be here was telling me that this is the right thing to do. One of the other questions was, how easy was it to follow the meal plan and exercise? And it was very easy. For me, with the program, I was not a fitness person before. I knew nothing about it. I didn't know what to do. What was great was with the Fat Loss Extreme, there were follow along videos. I was able to follow along, look at the screen, make sure that I was doing the proper form, that I wasn't going to be hurting myself. I actually was educating myself into these workouts, that I kind of knew what certain things were now. it gave me that confidence for being able to work out from home for over a year. And being able to do that and follow along was great. The meal plan was laid out. Everything is app based. Everything was laid out in front of me. I was able to take a look at it, and every day look at what am I having for breakfast, what am I having for snack, what are the recipes to a T. I was doing everything myself at home. Hey Dave, thanks for joining. I was doing everything from home. I was able to, I was not eating out anymore. I was cooking, meal prepping. It took some work, some planning, a lot of planning, but it paid off obviously week to week, and in the long run, with 212 pounds gone, I will say that it was definitely worth it. How I feel was definitely worth it, made it worth it. The inspiration that I can give other people makes it worth it. Across the board, there's not one thing that I will say if you start, or when you start, or if you're on your journey, that there's not one thing that you'll regret from yesterday that you can do today or that you'll be able to do tomorrow. I mentioned where I worked out for over the first year. I did everything right from my home, so there's no excuse on not wanting to go to a gym, or even I will see people in the gym that are heavy set. They remind me of myself at the beginning of my journey, and they're in there working out, and I will purposely go up to those people and ask them questions on their journey and congratulate them for being in there, because I don't know if I would have been able to start off with going to a gym immediately. You already feel like everyone is watching you. You already feel like all eyes are on you. You're uncomfortable in your own skin. To put yourself into an atmosphere where you feel is an athlete and you're not, and on top of it, you don't know what you're doing, it's hats off to them. And I will go and congratulate them and then show them to my before and after picture, and to keep on putting in that work, that I think it's amazing that they're there and that they can absolutely do it and achieve the same results. And everyone that I've walked up to and talked to has appreciated it and respected it, and thought it was very cool. So I worked out at home for the longest time. I started going to the gym, especially with traveling with baseball. There was no excuse on where I couldn't. So there's locations all over the place. I belong to a Planet Fitness right now because of all the locations. I did Lifetime for a while. That's where actually me and Ethan today are going to be going after this. Once he's done with school, he wanted to celebrate my 1,000 days with going to work out at Lifetime. And he let me know there's a Lifetime at Target Center in Minneapolis. I had no clue. I emailed them, asked them if we can do a tour and work out. They agreed. We have an appointment today. And I think that's super cool. I think the coolest thing, even with all this, is being able to work out with your kids, number one. Being able to see that you're motivating and inspiring your kids when your boys go from we order out or wondering where we're going to eat out to asking you, what is dad having for dinner, and having the same thing as him, to be inspired, to motivate and keep on pushing. Those are things that are just absolutely priceless, that I'll have and take with me forever. So no matter what I do, who I inspire, even myself, to be able to say that I can be excited, take my son, and go and work out with him to celebrate 1,000 days. I don't think there's anything better than that, and for any parent out there, I think you can understand, especially when your boys are teenagers. And normally, at this age, they do not want to be hanging out with their dad. So, Ethan, if you get to see this, I'm excited. How did I do this while on vacation or away from home? One thing that never stopped me. I always planned. On vacation, I brought 2 suitcases. And as silly as that sounds, there was one suitcase full of supplements, my workout stuff, my shaker bottles. No matter what it was, I didn't care, whatever it was going to cost. That was part of me and part of my lifestyle, and nothing was going to change that. It didn't matter if some days I woke up at 4 o'clock to go and work out, and some days I left at 11 p.m. to go and work out until 1 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't recommend that, especially with pre-workout, because you're up for a while. But the whole point is, no matter what, if you're motivated and dedicated, you're going to get your workout, and you plan for it. Plan for your day, and you can get it done. Nothing will stop you. With 20-minute a day videos at the beginning, it makes it super easy. Many times I was in my hotel room. I didn't have to leave. I was able to work out from there. When baseball first started with Gabe, I remember going out to the hotel gym and doing my follow-along video. That was super easy. There's gyms and fitness centers, a lot of them were open 24 hours. Now they got some restricted hours. But you can absolutely, if you're ready to make that commitment, make it a priority. You can do it, you can plan for it, and that's the whole thing. Planning your workouts, planning your meals, and being ready for it. What's next now that I've reached 1,000 days? So I think to finish off for me, I think I started my website, which, because I had a lot of videos with VShred and some content and everything, whatsyourstreak.com I started, so I can have a repository of everything that I have right there. I'm going to keep on growing that to be able to inspire and motivate other people. There's a support option. I'm working on other items. I mentioned at the beginning, I'm working on getting my certification to be a personal trainer on the side. Things that I can do part-time to be able to help everyone else. When I see and hear and are able to share my story with other people, hi Erica, to be able to get the reactions, to be able to get just the comments when people are just blown away, or even just they take that time to think about what you said or how it impacts them, to be able to make or even take a chance and that opportunity to make a difference in somebody else's life for the positive. I think in the end, that's what's everything's worth. I've always wanted to share, things that have gone wrong or that I did wrong, or you learn from your mistakes. I think for me, being able to finally overcome a portion of my life where I've struggled my whole entire life with weight. If I can take my successes and share those and help other people, there's nothing more rewarding. At the same time, when I get to see that inspire and motivate my kids, and letting them know that no matter what you do and you put your mind to, you can achieve, that's a priceless moment. So to everybody that's out there, anything that you want to do, you're able to. I appreciate everybody that's jumped on, that's listened. Hopefully I'll be able to save this and be able to replay it so that anyone who wants to take a look can. If there's something that you got questions that you want to be able to find out more of, you're more than welcome to type something up on the screen, or even just reach out. I'm excited at what's next. I want to continue to help and inspire and motivate everybody out there, and continue to make a difference. So for everyone, thank you. I appreciate all the support as always. I'm excited to hang out with Ethan today. Gabe, if you get to watch, thanks, and I'm proud of you for what you're doing with college. I'm excited for Thanksgiving. To all of you, I hope that everyone has a great day. I'll put this up so you can watch it. I appreciate you all. Be kind. Bye-bye.